Hey, Creations by Courtney here with another video. Today we are going to be creating the Tunisian Net Dishcloth. It has this lovely texture on the front as well as the back. And it is called the Tunisian Net because it is made from a combination of two stitches. We have the Tunisian knit stitch, which gives you these lovely lines here. And then the Tunisian knit stitch purled, which then creates this horizontal bar, right? So Tunisian knit stitch purled. It is a mouthful, but trust me that there's a rhythm that we will create. So today I'm going to be using some Premier yarns, Premier Home Cotton. This is 85% cotton and 15% polyester. I already pulled some of the yarn out so that hopefully the yarn ball won't roll everywhere. And today I'm using my Likey Indigo Tunisian set. Isn't it gorgeous? We are going to be using a size K, which is a 6.5 millimeter. What I like about this set is that, they're gorgeous, but it's in this lovely case with a pocket, and you can even make it stand up. And within the pocket, you have your cables and your stoppers. There's so much hiding in here. The key. And these. I like to use these when I'm doing a smaller project rather than the larger stoppers that I use with the cables. Let me move that out of the way. All right. Just like with any project, we're going to start with a slip stitch. And you may want to leave a tail long enough to weave in the end. And we're going to start by chaining 28. All right, now that we've made our chain 28, we're going to create the foundation row. And the foundation row for this pattern is a row of Tunisian simple stitch. And if you're new to Tunisian crochet, Tunisian simple stitch is the stitch that most of us learn first. And it also tends to be the foundation row for many, but not all stitches. To get started, the loop on the hook always counts as the first stitch and usually counts as a Tunisian simple stitch. And now we're going to work our way across, pulling up a loop. Now you can work into the chain any way that you prefer. So like going through here, I always like to work through the back bump because it creates a really neat edge. So insert your hook into the second chain from hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. And do it again. Insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. Tunisian crochet is always worked in two steps, a forward pass and a return pass. And we are now creating the forward pass. Now, one thing you may notice is that that first loop can loosen up a bit. So after you make a few, sometimes it helps to just pull this just like so to tighten that loop. And then it makes it more consistent so that one edge isn't taller than the other. So continue to work across each stitch, pulling up a loop, and we will come back for the return pass. All right. When you get to the end, you should have 28 loops on your hook. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So you will always you will have the same number of loops on your hook for the forward pass, unless you are doing decreases or increases. But in this, there won't be any of that. So for the return pass, and the return pass is made the same way for a Tunisian simple stitch row and for most rows, unless you're, again, doing increases, decreases, or a shell. We are going to chain 1, which is just as it says. You're going to yarn over and pull through 1. That's the same as a chain 1. And then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and continue that across. We're just going to yarn over, pull through 2, and this is the return pass. And this will be the same for every row while making the Tunisian net dishcloth. Alrighty, that is your foundation row made. Let's pull some more yarn out. Okay, now on to the fun. This is just a 2-row repeat that you can do until it is a square. So again, we're measuring this way and then measuring this way. Gauge information is included, and it is a little harder to measure a gauge, and I would recommend using a gauge square. But gauge is also not absolutely crucial for making a dishcloth. So again, this loop always counts as the first stitch. So this is the first one. So we're going to Tunisian knit stitch into the next one. So when you look at in Tunisian crochet, you have the vertical bars. That's all of these loops that we pulled up in the first row. This is the front. This is the front. This is the back. Okay, front, back. And you want to work through. So in Tunisian simple stitch, we work through the next vertical bar, right? We insert, under, yarn over, pull up a loop. That's a Tunisian simple stitch. But for knit stitch, we're going to go through. And when you go through the legs of the vertical bar, straight to the back. Yarn over, pull up a loop. For the Tunisian knit stitch purled, okay? Like I said, it is a mouthful. So with a purl stitch, you bring your yarn to the front, okay? We're going to insert our hook through the next vertical bar as a Tunisian knit stitch. We're now going to take the yarn back over the work, okay? And here's where it can get tricky. You still need to yarn over. And it feels weird because it's like, well, can't you just pull this way? And you can. But really, you're going this. So you're going to move your yarn to the back. You're going to yarn over. It does help to hold this in place. And then pull through. So you want to not catch the yarn when you move it to the back, and this is what makes the purl. Okay, we're going to do it again. And if you want to, you can tighten it up just a little bit, but it's fine to leave it loose. So let's do it again. We're going to Tunisian knit. So you go through the vertical bar, yarn over, pull up a loop, Tunisian knit stitch purl. You're going to bring your yarn to the front, okay, and you're going to Tunisian knit, meaning that you insert your hook through the vertical bar. You're going to bring your yarn to the back, and then you're going to yarn over. Hold this in place so it doesn't catch, and then just pull through and pull up a loop, okay? Let's do it again. Tunisian knit stitch, right? We got the yarns at the back, so we yarn over, pull up a loop. Tunisian knit stitch purl, and if it helps, you can hold this in the front. You Tunisian knit into the next one, let that go, hold it in place, yarn over, and then pull up a loop. So when you get the hang of it, this is what it looks like. Tunisian knit stitch, Tunisian knit stitch purl, Tunisian knit stitch, Tunisian knit stitch purled. And as you develop a rhythm, or at least the rhythm I've developed, we do the purl. When we Tunisian knit stitch purl, I hold the yarn up so it's in front of the hook. That way it's still on the front. I make the Tunisian knit, and then I have control with this finger to do my yarn over and pull it through. So repeat to the end, alternating Tunisian knit and Tunisian knit stitch purled. And when you get to the end, it helps to look at your work, and you'll notice this chain here in the 2 loops. You want to make a last stitch, end stitch. Some people call it Tunisian simple stitch. Some people call it last stitch. Some people call it end stitch. But you'll yarn over and pull up a loop. And this counts as the last vertical bar. So that's the front and the back leg of that last vertical bar. And if you want to check, you should still have 28. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Awesome. Now chain 1, then yarn over and pull through 2. Yarn over and pull through 2 all the way across. And that is now your first row of the Tunisian net stitch. Now for row 2, we're going to do the same 2 stitches, just alternate the order. Again, this counts as the first stitch, and I forgot to tighten that first one, so as you see the difference, it is looser. So for the first one, we're going to Tunisian knit stitch purled, just like so, and now Tunisian knit. And so it's going to alternate, which is why it's a 2-row repeat. So Tunisian knit stitch purled, followed by Tunisian knit. And just continue across the row for the forward pass. And if you ever forget what you just made, check for the purl. The purl creates a bar in the front. So always want to make sure that you alternate. And this is why you want to hold it in place so that you can pull the yarn through. And then make a last stitch. Working under both, insert your hook under both legs, and then make your return pass. So chain 1, then yarn over, pull through 2. And there we have it, another row. So continue by repeating these 2 rows until you have the desired length. And when you get to the end, it's going to be a standard bind off where you just do a slip stitch under each vertical bar. And if you're not sure what that looks like, I'll show you here. So again, we always skip the first one. Insert your hook under the next vertical bar, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then pull through the loop on the hook. So you'll only keep 1 loop on the hook when you bind off. And this is the slip stitch bind off. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through vertical bar, and loop on hook. And it creates a lovely edge, which looks very similar to how it began. And that's all there is to making the Tunisian net dishcloth. Again, it will lean slightly like so from the alternating stitches, but then you can block it, right? Straighten it out, spray, or wet block, meaning that you soak and then let it dry. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you enjoy making the Tunisian net dishcloth. Keep stitching. I'll talk with y'all soon. Oh, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you don't miss out on upcoming video tutorials as well as crocheting with me, whether that's an accessory or making garments. And coming soon, a live Q&A. I want to know your questions so I can give you answers so we can all enjoy crocheting even more. Talk to y'all soon.